Oh Lord Jesus, did you see that majestic creature in its natural habitat? Well, since we are talking about dinosaurs, let's draw them. Okay, sorry guys, enough with that. No, in this video I wanted to talk a little bit more about organic shapes and drawing organic, well, in this case, creatures, and just bring some of the elements that we learned in the previous how to draw videos and how to draw organic stuff videos into this one as well. And since I did a lot of Jurassic World evolution playing in the vacation, I thought, okay, let me do some dinosaurs because I really enjoy them. And let's start with our first dinosaur, a Brachiosaurus. And as you can see, I start with ellipses and cylinders. And in this case, the main body is the main big cylinder. Well, actually, it is almost like a bit of a cone because I try to follow the shape from bigger to smaller. And then everything else is just cylinders that are put together. And in this case, I also broke the neck into two pieces, which is not necessarily, but I saw this sort of Adam's apple almost in there, which might not be there, but that's at least what I saw. So you do whatever you want as long as you get the understanding out of it. You use the shapes that you want. You don't have to use cylinders. You will also see in a couple of examples further down the line that I don't just use cylinders, but in this case, because this dinosaur is mostly like a really long tube with legs on it, I thought cylinders will be perfect for it. And you can also see at the head, I just put two blocks on top of each other because, yeah, that's how it looks like to me. And this early part, using these basic shapes to turn them into organic forms later on, this is just for you to really understand and also see and a little bit measure, you know, to see what are the correct proportions and what you're doing with it. And I would say one of the main things is also, aside from trying to draw organic stuff, just look back and see if you made any mistakes, because right here in a minute you will see that as I draw the legs and I look at the reference picture as well, and I just noticed, oh wait, actually the back leg touches one of the front legs, so I need to change my whole drawing a little bit. So don't feel bad. It's always okay to just fix your drawing a little bit, and it's not okay, it's actually much better. So just take your time and fix your drawings. But going back to the organic drawings, so because I come from an industrial design point of view, and I guess most of my viewers, you are also interested in industrial design and are more comfortable with that sort of drawing. It is good to just use the things that you learn from industrial design, the straight lines and whatnot, and also the curves, and create these basic simple shapes, and on them then you can start building these more organic looking ones. And one of the main things that, at least how I solve things, is you can see these little lines are basically almost section lines that sort of show the roundness of the neck or the tail and also the legs. And this really gives you a good impression of, okay, how does this shape turn? In which direction does it go? You can overdo it, but it can also just be a sort of a stylistic thing, especially when you're only doing line work. You're not going to do a lot of rendering. So these little round lines that you can see on the neck and the back and here and there on the legs as well, and soon it will be on the belly as well, these really give you direction of the form. And starting with our second dino, going on to the actually majestic T-Rex, not what we saw at the beginning of this video, you can see that it's really not just cylinders. You can use any sort of shape that you want. I put a box there, and I actually made the bottom part of the box already a little bit rounded, because that seemed to serve me much better. And for the for the head of the T-Rex, I really just put together different shapes that work for me, from boxes to slanted boxes to triangles, everything that I like. And also, what we talked in one of the previous videos, you have to sculpt a little bit. So you saw me draw the box for the upper, it's not jaw, but even at the lower jaw, you can see me cutting off those straight edges and then making sort of a chamfer to show this roundness later on. So whenever I decide that I want to fill in with inks or dark lines or whatever you choose to do, I know that, okay, there's the rounding, and it's going to be much easier to follow. And then for the rest, like, use the shape that works best for you. Again, the legs are much more cylinders for me than the head, for example. And then, yeah, from here on, it's the same steps as before. You will see me a little bit later on as I do the same. I will call them section lines, even though they are not section lines, but the lines that will show you how the shape rotates around, or what sort of curves you have in there. And with that, I would say I'll see you at minute 8:33, where I will tackle the last dinosaur of this video.
I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting for you. Now I'm waiting for I've been waiting for you.
And again, we have a T-Rex from a different point of view this time around. And again, I'm using super simple 3D basic shapes to draw this dinosaur. And if you look at the head, I saw sort of a wedge that is much thicker towards the back of the head and really thin where the snout ends. And I just start building on that. I start sculpting that, and I start drawing in the lines where I see, and when I want to mark, okay, this is where the mouth ends, or this is where the mouth begins. And because this was also, well, actually this was the first one that I started out with, but this was, I was sort of combining the drawing the basic shapes with drawing in already curved lines as well. So the point is that you should draw however it's most comfortable for you guys, right? So you don't have to follow a rigid rule. The rigid rule should be that you do whatever is best for you, as long as you get a good outcome, as long as you deliver whatever you wanted to deliver. And always stick to that. If something's not working, try to see why not, but you can also just switch it up and try something new. And I always have this mishmash of techniques. I use a little bit of everything and I jump here and there. And you can see I saw that cylinder ellipse in the jaw of the jawbone of the dinosaur. Even it's not there, but for me, in my head, that was just working, because also you already have the rotation of the jaw there, and I don't know, it's just, to me, it felt quite good. So don't take this video as a tutorial on how to draw necessarily organic shapes. It's more of just to show you what else you can do. We had the basic steps videos before, and I wanted to go a little bit more into detail into the variety of things you can do by just looking at the basic shapes, building things out of basic shapes, and also turning them into these rounded, more organic shapes with a lot of texture as well. But yeah, so this is mostly like a possibilities video, like what you can do, and then in the future we're going to go more deeper into textures, which I did a lot in this video, but also more into organic shapes like humans, because my videos are mostly watched by, well, people who are interested in industrial design. I am interested in industrial design, but we are also better at more drawing hard surface stuff, so we find it harder to draw these organic shapes, and I personally find drawing humans not easy at all. So that's why I want to go a little bit into at least how I approach drawing humans in the future, so you guys maybe can learn or take something away from that as well. Anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. If you didn't, that dislike button. But make sure to comment and say what you didn't like. But also say what you liked about it. And for the future, maybe you can also like, what are organic shapes or non-organic shapes that you find hard to draw? Or tell me if breaking things down to these basic shapes helps you at all, because I would be curious where you apply these techniques. But that's it for this week's video, and as always, the most important thing is that you guys have a great time, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.